I just said Malik Monk is. I just said I believe Malik Monk is a better player than Donovan Mitchell. He just don't get the opportunity.
And look, I had this series going 7 games because I'm always weary of a Donovan Mitchell-led team.
Brandon, I know you have some thoughts on this whole Donovan Mitchell situation you alluded to earlier in the show.
I mean, he all right. Like, you know, looked like he should have been taller. Looked like he just stopped growing at like. See, I don't know. It's like he's supposed to be Dwayne Wade, but not. Like, in a way, I don't know. Just whatever, man. He ain't no number one option, though.
Some of this Donovan Mitchell hate just feels forced. I just don't understand how you can hate a guy who, going into Game 2, found out he wasn't going to have Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, or DeAndre Hunter, and still decided to score at 48 points. Obviously, the Cavs blew that game, but it makes sense why they did. Their starting lineup was Donovan Mitchell, Ty Jerome, Dean Wade, Max Strus, and Jarrett Allen. They played a total of 8 possessions together in the regular season. That just shows that 5 isn't their best 5. Plus, Ty Jerome chose the wrong night to shoot 1 of 14 from the field. When the Cavs are missing a shooter like Darius Garland, you'd expect that Ty Jerome would be the guy to step up. But, of course, he wasn't able to do that. But I don't want to put all of the blame on Ty Jerome because Donovan Mitchell is the main contributor. He's supposed to be the main star of this team. And to be fair to Donovan Mitchell, he showed up. Obviously, I feel like in the fourth quarter, he started to lose some gas, and he allowed his man to get a rebound off of a missed free throw and get a putback dunk. And he also failed to grab another board later in Game 2 that ended in a Tyrese Halliburton step back that ended up sealing the game in Indiana's favor. But after they lost, Donovan Mitchell handled it very well.
I'm proud of every individual that put up a fight tonight. It's tough losing like that, but we got to find a way to get to an Indy.
This was the best response Donovan Mitchell could have given. He didn't get mad at anybody, he didn't call out teammates, and he basically held his tongue. He could have called out a guy like Darius Garland for not showing up to play, because it seemed like to me that Darius Garland's injury was pretty minor and he could have played through it if he wanted to, so Mitchell could have felt a certain way about it, but if he did, he didn't show it. And that's the polar opposite of what KD did when he was on the Nets. I remember when he was in Brooklyn and he called out his teammates and was like, Summer, O'Neal, Joe Harris, Claxton, and me. It's not disrespect, but what are you expecting from that group? That's a wild statement, and that's a quote from KD. So when things are going bad for KD's team, he calls out his teammates. But with Donovan Mitchell, we see how his character differs from KD, where once his team loses, he isn't going to start playing the blame game, but he's just going to bounce back, and that's what we saw him do in Game 3.
Able to alter that attempt from Siakam. Mitchell at 3 is good.
Put so much pressure on Donovan Mitchell in the first 2 games playing without Darius Garland.
Here's Mitchell spinning into the paint, exploding it. He's 1 of 3 tonight. Mitchell sidestepping 3.
He's pretty good at that, right?
As you can see, Donovan Mitchell had him a night in Game 3, scoring 43 points with 9 boards and 5 assists. He was getting to his spots easily and he really helped his team out. And he's been averaging 41 points per game for this series. When the Cavs need a bucket, they call on his number, and he's been able to provide them the scoring punch that they need. And it also helped that in Game 3, Tyrese Halliburton really wasn't feeling it. He scored just 4 points and 5 assists during Game 3. He only played 4 fourth quarter minutes as well. But Mitchell, since he's on the Cavs, he doesn't get the same opportunity as Halliburton to just take a day off, because his teammates weren't exactly doing everything they could. Darius Garland shot poorly, Evan Mobley fumbled a couple passes, and DeAndre Hunter looked out of sync. But that's expected because all 3 of these guys were coming off of injury. But at least with Evan Mobley, the Pacers logged their lowest scoring total of the series. That's what you get with the Defensive Player of the Year. Mobley finished with 3 blocks and 3 steals. Hopefully in Game 4, we can see the Cavs have a more even game where it's not just Donovan Mitchell scoring 40 points for the Cavs to be able to beat the Pacers. I want to see some production from Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley just needs to shoot the ball more, but as long as he keeps doing what he's been doing on the defensive end, they should be fine. But with the Pacers, they're the polar opposite. They're not just relying on one guy. When Tyrese Halliburton in Game 3, when he wasn't feeling it, it goes to other guys. They don't just rely on one person to run their whole offense. Of course, Tyrese Halliburton, he has the ball in his hands a lot, but it's not like Mitchell where he's shooting the ball every time. He's getting his teammates involved, and it's like everybody gets an opportunity to score the ball. So the Cavs going forward, they need to be able to kind of match that approach and balance out their offense. And although the Cavs balancing out their offense would be the most beneficial thing for this team, I still kind of want to see Donovan continue to put up 40 just to prove the haters wrong who said that he couldn't put up the numbers that a number one option should.
So, Brandon, obviously you've had some opinions about Donovan Mitchell in the past, but let's focus in on this season alone. How has Donovan Mitchell looked as a number one option with the Cavs this season?
Cavs team look good. Good to see Darius Garland playing well.
The Cavs team looks good.
He had a big game the other day, so the team is rolling, man. They look good.
Okay.
They look good.
Are you impressed by that 9-0 start?
Yeah, as a team effort for sure. It's a great all-around team.
All around.
I mean, your number one option's only averaging 24. You're gonna have to get those numbers up.
49, 39, 81 shooting splits though.
Number one options in the league today average 30.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? How Brandon Jennings refuses to give Donovan Mitchell credit? He keeps bringing up how it's a team effort, which is true. Cleveland has a good roster from top to bottom, but so do the Pacers. I'd argue that Donovan Mitchell carries his team more than Tyrese Halliburton does if you're just going off of scoring. But Brandon Jennings seems to think that you have to average 30 to be the number one option on a championship team. But the problem with that theory is that Mitchell has already had years of high scoring numbers. In Mitchell's first year in Cleveland, he averaged 28 per game. But he wasn't seeing the same winning that he's seeing now, and the only difference is he's averaging 4 less points. And if Brandon Jennings wants to use that against Donovan Mitchell and hold that against him, that's fine. Because Mitchell has found out a way to be successful, and he's still averaging a decent amount of points per game. Plus, let's talk about Jason Tatum. He averaged 27 points per game in the regular season, but now he's averaging 19 per game in the playoff series against the Knicks. I'd rather have Donovan Mitchell in his scoring numbers where maybe he isn't averaging close to 30 in the regular season, but if there's any injuries in the playoffs, he can turn the gear and start to average that type of number one option numbers that Brandon Jennings is asking for. The fact of the matter is that Donovan Mitchell can dial things down when he needs to get his teammates involved, but also flip a switch when his team needs a bucket, and that's what Brandon Jennings just really wasn't understanding. But eventually, later on in the year, Brandon Jennings actually ends up apologizing and realizes where he went wrong.
Is it time to start putting some respect on the Cavs' name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You said that begrudgingly, Brandon.
Nah, because, I mean, what I say, Donovan Mitchell wasn't a number one option on a championship team, and he's proven it. I mean,
he watches the show.
The team is well put together. Darius Garland, he's playing crazy. Donovan Mitchell, he might not be having the numbers like an MVP, but his leadership and the way he got his team behind him, I mean, they're for real. And if I'm the Bucks or whoever got to see the Cavs in the finals, you should be a little worried because they're for real.
You know what I think? I think we need to start normalizing letting people change their opinion when they realize they're wrong. In this situation, Brandon Jennings had been talking down on Mitchell for no reason, but corrected his mistake and gave credit where credit was due. And I can respect that, but if we create a world where it's not okay for somebody to admit that they're wrong, Brandon could still be trying to defend the position that Donovan Mitchell can't lead a championship team, even though he's proving in the Pacers series that he can put a team on his back. So shout out to him for keeping it real. It's still hard not to remember all the things Jennings said about Mitchell though. I mean, he was talking about how Mitchell looked like he should have been taller and he could have been D Wade but had stunted growth. He said Malik Monk was a better player. He says some wild things, and at no point ever was there anything to back them up. At least now he's taking back what he said. Not many players can be the best player on a team that starts 15-0 and still not get appreciation. I think it's because Donovan Mitchell, his name just doesn't carry the same weight as someone like KD. Imagine if KD was on the best team in the league, undefeated at one point, but his scoring numbers had taken a step back. Nobody would be talking about his stats, but would be giving him credit for winning, and that's because KD is more thought of as a number one option than Mitchell is. It's just the names behind it. People forget that as a rookie, Donovan Mitchell led his team to the playoffs and defeated Russell Westbrook's Thunder in 6 games. People need to mention that more. He hit the ground running when he entered the league. He was an immediate impact player, and he still is. He's transformed this Cavs team, and we're going to see him put up some more big-time performances in this series against Indy. But what do you think? Has Donovan Mitchell proved that he can be the number one option on a championship team yet? Tell me in the comment section below. Until next time, peace.